Well, I know many of you are quite interested in what goes on inside a racket bag of a pro, and Andy Murray's kindly allowed us to have a little glimpse inside his world. We might be a little bit surprised. I know when I was working with you, obviously I had to pack this for you, but I know things have moved on a little bit since then. So anyway, I'm going to open this, and you can just, I hope, take me through what's ever in it.
Yeah, a little bit disorganised today, unfortunately, but yeah.
Is it usually tidier than this?
No, it's not. But yeah, basically I got my orthotics here, which obviously put inside my shoes. These are they basically help my knees quite a lot, especially when you play on the hard courts. Get your, I guess, your feet working properly. You know, my feet used to be pretty bad, but these have definitely helped out.
Do you swap them between your trainers? Because I see there's a...
Yeah, I've got, they're exactly the same. I've got a pair of my tennis shoes as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I swap them probably every month. I get a new pair because you get worn out pretty quickly. What else have I got in here? Well, my badge, my accreditation for the tournament, which
Isn't this your accreditation?
I think Roger and Rafa are the only ones that can still get away with that, but yeah, I still need that to get in, that's for sure. I've got some loose wires, which is probably, this is actually to charge up. I have a little, bring it with me, but I have a little PSP game, which I travel with.
Are you still terrible at that? Because obviously I used to beat you at the golf.
All I remember is, I just remember being very good at the Tiger Woods game, but yeah, I normally play the football now. I actually have a whole lot else in it this side. I have wristband and sports drink. This is obviously what I drink this on the court. It gives me more energy. It's sort of, I had all of my sweat and stuff tested, so it's got all of the right salts and nutrients in it for me, which makes a difference in a long match. It stops me from getting tired early.
Which one of your team gets that lucky job to test your sweat?
Yeah, it's unfortunately not anyone in my team, but I actually remember when I was working with Mark, he used to give me Lucozade drinks, and he put, well, I'm blaming it on him. I actually threw up in one of my matches at the US Open. I don't remember, well, I don't know if anyone remembers that, but yeah, against Andre Pavel. And I'm blaming him. Too much sugar apparently.
I was doubling up. It's a bit like me on a night out.
Okay. Right. We can go in here now. Just my rackets. I've only got 3 in here today, but normally I have normally 8 to 10 rackets. I have 10 during Grand Slams and 8 normally at the other tournaments. Obviously the matches are a little bit shorter. I use a company called P1. They do all of the stringing for Federer, Djokovic, me. They do Wawrinka, Mardy Fish, Tsonga, Monfils, Isner. They work with a load of the guys, and they customize all of the rackets, and they string them at all of the Grand Slams and Masters series you come to, and they do a great job. So they definitely help out a lot.
Well, and when I look at your rackets, how much, obviously from the time that you sort of turned pro to now, have they changed at all? Obviously, I know you've got a lot of weight in the head, but has the grip shape changed? Has there been much change? Yeah,
well, I changed the grip shape a little bit. As I started to get a little bit stronger, I felt like I needed a bigger grip to. It's quite hard to explain, but you really feel like you're holding in your hand properly. Sometimes if the grip's a little bit small and you're sweating a little bit, it slips more in your hand, you know, in the hot and humid places. So I've changed the grip, I've changed many different things in the racket, and the weight, like the balance of it. I've moved, I used to have it very heavy in the head, it's now a little bit sort of more towards the middle.
Has the string pattern always stayed the same? You got the same number of holes, or?
No, I changed. I had 18-20, which
was that 18 across and 20 down?
I actually, well, let me check. Yeah, so now I've got 16 across and 19 down, and I used to be 18 across and 20 down.
And that does?
It basically gives you, the 16-19 will give you a bit more power, but less control, probably be able to get more spin as well with the less strings. The ball, I think, comes off the racket a little bit quicker, that's what I find. And I use, which I've actually got in my other compartment. I've got basically...
Which I'm looking forward to opening.
Yeah, I've got Luxolon. I use Luxolon string, big banger in the main strings, and I use Babolat gut in the cross strings. A lot of the guys use sort of different combinations. Some use all Luxolon, like a synthetic string. Not more so, I mean, when you used to play, I think more of the guys used to use gut. It gave you more power, less control though. I think, well, judging by your shots, less control. But yeah, the Luxolon's definitely helped for guys because the racket head speed's got a lot more. If I tried to play with gut now, I'd be hitting it way out. It helps, it sort of deadens the string a little bit.
So I had a bit more feel, you mean?
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
And anyway, so that's 2 out of 3. Racket bags have grown. I mean, they have expanded incredibly over the years. But this section, I think, coming up, possibly might win the award if we do a few more of these as the messiest section on tour. What do you think?
I would have thought so, yeah.
It's a contender.
It's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. I actually got given this last week. It's a Valencia shirt. I got given it by their striker. It's called Roberto Soldado. I've still got that in there. I've actually got no washing. I've had in my laundry and a few days ago it's still not come back. So
I hope someone's going to pay a forfeit for that, for not doing it.
Well, it's a tournament, but I got, this is a shirt from Danny, my friend that I'm working with. They're his shorts, and the socks are from my trainer and physio. So.
But all will be alright for tomorrow for your match. It's all arriving.
Yeah, it's meant to be getting here at 8 o'clock tonight. This is, it looks horrible, and it is pretty horrible. This is a protein shake that I use. Basically
mixed properly.
Normally my fitness trainer, like when he makes them, he leaves like big chunks of the powder in there, which is horrible. Yeah, this I drink this basically to keep my calories up. You know, when you obviously exercise a lot, we need to put quite a lot of calories back in, and this helps with that. I probably have 3 or 4 of them a day.
Is it a breakfast smoothie or not? Or when do you start after first practice?
Yeah, like before first practice, after first practice, and then in the evening, and they just don't go down very well, to be honest.
No,
they just aren't. They're just not great. This is where I keep like spares if I'm at the courts and I need, you know, a racket. This is what I was just talking about. I've got it's a Luxolon string here, my Babolat string, which I keep just sparing.
I know you normally have some grips in the bag, but we've sort of hijacked you today. Do you grip them yourself, or
sometimes I grip them myself. Sometimes the guys at P1 do it for me.
And how often would you change it when you change your racket?
I just like it, so until I break a string, or if I change it new balls or something, then I just go on to the next racket. But I always have a new grip for every practice and for the beginning of every match. And this is just basically if I break a string during a match, or I don't like the tension in my rackets during a match, I'll take these with me to the courts and I'll hand a racket in there and change.
You've just been practicing now. Is that a chance for you to feel out which tension is going to work at the tournament?
Yeah, well, a little bit, yeah. I mean, I try and stick with the same tension most weeks. I try and not fluctuate too much, but I mean, the court surface, changes a lot, especially at the indoor tournaments. You know, even like Toronto to Cincinnati this year is a huge change in the conditions.
Is that the same for a lot of the top guys? They keep pretty much within a certain tension range?
Yeah, well, I speak to the guys that string my racket quite a lot, and it's not normally, so I string my rackets at like 58 to 60, 62 pounds. Is the max I'll go to, and most guys are normally in a certain range. It just kind of depends on how the court's playing. Yeah.
Do we want to delve any deeper in this part?
There's not really a whole lot going on. This is just basically a woolly jacket because it's freezing right now in Paris, and to be honest, there's not really anything else in there. I got a scarf.
Some blue and white sweatbands.
A hat. Oh, and this is actually quite interesting. Forgot I had this in here. I didn't show you this. Last week when I was in Valencia, I did an interview with a guy from the Evening Standard. One of his friends in the office that he works with has developed this thing, and it's basically meant to be the size of a credit card, but I'm not going to flash it too much, I won't flash it at you, but it's actually a torch, which I thought was a strange thing to be given, but I think I'll use that when I'm like walking the dog, because if you've got it in the dog, it's actually really strong. Like if you know, it's really, really bright.
Excellent. Yeah, it is.
And that's exactly what he did to me when he gave it to me, and it's really bright, so.
Quite nice. Have you got any euros in there or not?
I've got a £5 note. That's it. £5 note and some receipts.
How are you going to eat tonight?
Yeah, I'll just get one of the guys to pay for it. So I'm Scottish. Yeah, and that's really about it, to be honest.
Well, that's what's in Andy's bag. We're hoping to catch up with a few more players over the course of the next few months and see what's in theirs. Andy, thanks for your time.
That's all right.